I'm going to say right now, I don't want to get out in front of my skis, but one of the all-time great Radio Row weeks we've ever had, and I've done 30 of these things. One of my favorite moments already, and it hasn't happened, but I can already say it, is this guy. We are joined right now by the Executive VP and GM of the Houston Texans. Wrapped up his 5th season, previously with the Patriots, as you know, for 20 years, 6 Super Bowl rings. The Texans won back-to-back AFC South Division titles, 23, 24. They have made it to the postseason 3 straight years. He is the most accomplished clone ever. He is the NTC. Nick the Clone, Nick Caserio, my brother. Love you, man. How you doing, dude?
Romy, great to be here. Love you, man. Thanks for having us.
Nick, when did you get into town?
About an hour ago. So got to the hotel.
You came right over to the row.
Got to the hotel, walked over. To take an Uber, it was like 20, 25 minutes, and it was the same amount of time to walk. I'm like, I'll just walk, so it was good exercise for me.
All right, so you got how many steps?
It was a while, 20 minutes, so I'll check my Whoop, see what it tells me.
Are you a 10,000 step day guy? Are you?
I usually go by strain because the Whoop measures a strain, so I usually end up between 11 and 13-ish, somewhere in there.
Okay.
So I try to stay on course.
All right. Nick Caserio joining us. Now, I'm not going to ask you to partake, but Twisted Tea is one of our big partners this week. I want to say to you, you want to know something really twisted? How twisted would it be if Parody Larry, who's on the outside with his face smashed up against the glass, somehow, some way got in and bum rushed us? And by the way, he's been using your name to try to get through the door.
Of course he is. He might be using my Twitter profile that I don't have that apparently is out there as well. So he can maybe use that. So that is kind of twisted.
Yeah, no, really twisted. And you know what he's also doing? Like, Nick Caserio made up Parody Larry, so I think that he can get me in here so I can go up on the stage and relive that great moment I had 10 years ago with Rome.
He's not wrong. Actually, I did make up his name. So.
Yeah, but he's wrong about the rest. He's right about that. You did make up that name.
That's right.
Twisted.
That's right.
It is twisted. It is really, really twisted. CM Punk came on today.
I saw CM
Did
Punk.
you see it?
I
Did
saw
you see
the
it?
clip. Yeah. So
okay.
The best guest of the week, probably. So.
Next to you,
I didn't know
right?
you were such a big wrestling fan all of a sudden.
I didn't know you were either, and now that you are, I am.
Well, me and
Shawnee
are, so of course you have to be now.
I have to now, right? I want to be a part of that club. So to that point, though, you know what he said? He's never had a drink. Did you see that? Was that part of the clip?
I did not see
that. He said he's never. I go, dude, you look great. You're 47, and you're still at a really elite level, and you travel. How? He goes, number one, I don't drink. I'm like, you don't drink or you've never drank. He's like, I've never drank. Did you know that about him?
I did not. He and I could probably hang out then. So we probably.
Have you never drank?
I've had a drink, but I don't drink. It's probably honestly been a while since I put anything in my body. I mean, my wife and I maybe have gone to dinner, a handful of, maybe a few years back and maybe had a glass of wine. But honestly, I don't want to put anything in my body, and then I got to get in the car, and God forbid something were to happen. But honestly, I don't have really I really don't have any desire to drink.
You don't miss what you don't do.
Not at all. So I have my routine. I kind of stay true to it and try to put in my body what I want to put in my body.
As we know, routines and rituals ultimately make us. That said, go ahead and have a twisty. No. So I said to CM Punk, I'm like, so you've never had a drink, so you'll have a twisty right now, right? He's like, no. I'm like, but that'd be so twisted.
That would be twisted. It
really
probably
twisted.
would infringe on his training, so I'm sure he's just going to stay away from it.
Dude, you know what's incredible? So we had Joe Brady on this week, and we have you, Nick the Clone. We have Josh, Josh doesn't come on as much because Josh doesn't come on as much, but he's still Josh the Clone. Joe Brady says to me, I didn't know this, he's like, just so you know, Jim, big fan of the show, listen to it, watch it. I'm like, holy crap, do we have a third member of the group?
We might forgot about drink. I mean, might as well put Eli in there as well.
Yeah, right, Eli,
so
too.
We can't forget about him.
Dude, he has a golden ticket. All right, so Eli, he may not actually say, I am a clone, but what about Joe Brady? Like, does he have what it takes to be a clone? And I know you're not in the business of talking about other people and other teams, but how do you think he'll do there?
Yeah, no, Joe's a really good coach. The fact that he's a clone probably make him a better coach, but, I mean, he's done a really good job, honestly, with the Buffalo offense when he was kind of inserted into that role. He understands the culture, he understands the city, he understands the mafia. So between being part of the Bills Mafia and being a clone, like, he's probably going to have a good chance for success.
I like it. I love the energy. I love the way he showed up. We're talking to Nick the Clone, Nick Caserio. Nick, I know as much as you love and appreciate the jungle because you always point that out and you don't need to, but thank you. Dude, I know you'd rather be preparing for the Super Bowl than talking to me right now. When you look back on the year, you've had a couple of days now, what kind of thoughts do you have?
Yeah, overall, honestly, I said this kind of after the season, really proud of what we accomplished. We did a lot of good things, won 13 games. We include the playoff game, which we did a lot of things the franchise hasn't really done over the course of its history. So we understand there's just still work in front of us. We have to make some improvements in the offseason, and, we've kind of turned the page and starting to get ready for the 26th season. But from where we started, which was 0-3, to end up where we were, we gave ourselves an opportunity in the end. Probably didn't play our best football. But overall, can't say enough about what DeMeco did, how he led the team, the players, how they responded. To win one game is hard. To win 9 games in this league and then 10 in the playoffs, it says a lot about the people in our building. So certainly proud of what we accomplished, understanding we realize there's more in front of us, and that's what the focus is as we move forward in the next season.
Nick Caserio is joining us. So I was going to ask you about DeMeco next, because one of the buzz phrases of the offseason has been alignment between a coach and a GM. The Texans' decision to hire DeMeco as head coach continues to pay dividends, right? Had 3 straight trips to the playoffs. I know you love him. What is his separation, and what has enabled him to excel the way he has as a first-time head coach?
Well, he's very sincere. He's very consistent. He's very authentic, and he is who he is, and that kind of transcends the rest of the program as well. Like, we want everybody that comes in our building to be who they are, be true to who you are. And we have to provide some guidelines and direction, and DeMeco has a really good pulse of the team. He's sat in the chairs of the players that he talks to on a daily basis, so that certainly resonates. That message carries probably a little bit more weight than it would maybe if somebody else was doing it. But he's kind of been immersed in the franchise. He loves the organization, and he loves the city of Houston. His wife is from Houston, so there's a lot of elements, I would say, like he pours so much into it. I think our relationship has grown from the start to where it is now, and I think it's all about communication. Like, we trust one another, we respect one another, and there's constant communication back and forth. That's the only way a partnership's really going to work.
Right. We were talking to Nick Caserio. Hey, Nick, I'll tell you something twisted. And you mentioned, look, I'm proud of a lot of things that happened this year, and the season did not end the way we had hoped it would end. What was really unusual about that was the ball security was an issue at the end of the year, but it was not during the year at all. That's twisted. Is that an aberration and an anomaly? Where do you come out on that?
Yeah, look, it's unfortunate that it happened. To your point, we had 12 turnovers the entire season. I think it was a franchise record or second in franchise history, so we did a really good job of taking care of the football. There's a direct correlation between taking care of the football and winning, and we've seen that throughout the league. We've seen that in a lot of our games as well. So unfortunately, it happened. That's the way it goes sometimes. That's why ball security is such a premium. And you look at the teams that advance, those are the teams that took care of the football, and that's always going to be important whenever you play, whether it's regular season, postseason, and regardless of the opponent.
All right, Nick, what about the JTC? What kind of headspace is he in right now? Like, I'm sure you talk to him. I don't talk to him, but, man, it's his 3rd stint. He's doing a great job. I'm going to argue there's a lot of reasons why they are where they are right now, but they're not there without him, I don't think. What kind of headspace is he in right now?
I think he's in a really great spot. Had a chance to visit with him over the summer, just to kind of catch up with him and before he, was about to embark on the season. And he felt good. It was interesting because a lot of the staff that's in place or that they ended up hiring, he hadn't really worked with anybody before. So there wasn't a lot of carryover and overlap. He never coached with Mike. Mike played, Josh was coaching. So I think he had a refreshed outlook, and I think he was excited about the opportunity to work with Drake. And as year went on, you can't say enough about the work that Josh has done. To your point, JR, he's a big part of the reason that they're there. There's no question about it. Quarterback play is a really direct result and correlation between the coordinator and the coach, and Josh has done as good a job as anybody.
So, Nick, when you were in the facility grinding away, working your way up, what was Mike Vrabel like as a player? In the facility, too.
Mike is how he is now. Very confident. He's kind of a smart ass in a good way. He could razz Bill a little bit and do it in a playful way, but Mike was one of the most respected players that was in the building. He was smart. He was very tough. He was a very instinctive football player, and his team, when you watch them play, is a reflection of his personality. So Mike's had a lot of success as a coach. He started kind of at the ground level, similar to DeMeco. They started kind of QC, kind of quality control, worked his way up. He was a position coach. He was a coordinator in Houston, defense coordinator there for a period before he went to the Titans. Had a lot of success in Tennessee. And then that year off, honestly, when you look at both Mike and Josh, that year off probably was a blessing in disguise, and they really took advantage of it. And, now their teams are in a pretty good spot.
You know what? I asked somebody this yesterday. Like, did Tennessee not know what they had? Or in that year off, did Mike actually do a self-audit and really think about why he is where he is? Like, did he come back a better coach, do you think?
Well, it's probably a combination of everything. Look at kind of the arc of your career, our career. We're always looking for opportunities to grow. How can we kind of enhance the things that we've already done and maybe learn from and modify and adjust? And Mike, I can't speak for Mike, but I would assume Mike did some of those things. So sometimes you need a fresh start. And then when you kind of take a step back, when you get a new opportunity, maybe you're able to implement some things that you hadn't thought of or that you didn't think about in your previous job. So it's all about kind of a growth mindset. I mean, not to use your phrase, but it's about the reinvention of yourself, not only as a person and a coach, and I think you're seeing some of that.
So in terms of growth mindset, what are you reading right now?
I'm actually reading a book. It's called The Making of a Perma Bear. It's by Jeremy Grantham. So Jeremy is a long-standing hedge fund manager. I think he's 70 or 80 years old. It's about his career, his growth. I'm really into finance, but not so much the numbers, but just the behavioral. I mean, finance is about behavior. Really, it's behavior science, how to handle ups and downs. Honestly, a lot of things that we deal with on a team. So I'm reading that right now. I just finished up 2 books by an author out of California, Colin Roach, Your Perfect Portfolio. It's basically got 20 different model portfolios about how to allocate assets and pragmatic capitalism. So I like to finance, business, leadership, just to kind of take my mind away from football. Football, when I'm there, I'm immersed in it, but I'm in a way, I'm just kind of looking for how people think, how they operate. So I got about 70 more pages left of Grantham's book, and it's fascinating.
That is so interesting. I didn't know that you spent as much time reading about finance, not only as a way to get away from football, but in terms of analytics, the way they break things apart and put them back together, does that help you with football?
Element of that, but look, I'm interested in the market. So I'm in the stock market, I'm interested in the market. So you're going to have ebbs and flows, and how is some of the best handle it? And there's always kind of reversion to the mean. Honestly, even in football, sometimes there's a reversion to the mean. Sometimes everything ends up kind of in the middle. So it's just interesting when you see a lot of correlations in other spaces have application maybe to the space that you're working in.
Nick, when we see people in this space, it's like, get up early, have a routine, read 10 pages a day. Dude, how do you have time to read all this? Like, what's your discipline and routine for reading? Do you say, I'm going to read 50 pages? Or are you going to say, I'm going to read till I don't have time to read anymore? How do you approach reading?
I try to carve out in the off season, kind of 30 to 45 minutes in the evening when I come home, when the kids go to bed, when my work is kind of done for the day. I don't really like to watch TV. I have no interest. I couldn't tell you what's on Netflix. I couldn't talk about any of that nonsense. So I try to put myself in a book, and then on road trips, like during the season, when we get on the bus, I'll read. When we get on the airplane, I'll read, and I'll mix it in with my work. So I take a little break, do some work. All right, then I'm going to read. So I try to keep my focus on the things that I'm interested in, and that's kind of how I approach it.
Do you ever do nothing?
Probably not. My wife probably would tell you I don't do nothing. So I'm always moving. I'm always active.
You will never doom scroll. You will never.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Well, if you go to my Twitter account that I apparently have, then maybe it doom scrolls.
You do drop bombs from that feed, dude. You gotta admit that's your guilty pleasure. That's where you go to drop bombs.
But exactly.
It's straight fire, like Mike Tomlin promised straight fire when he got to the X. Unlike Tomlin, when you got to the X, you did deliver straight fire, Nick. You did, man.
Apparently.
Dude, can't tell you how much. Well, okay, one more football note. So you played the Seahawks in Week 7. You dropped that game 27-19. What was your biggest takeaway from facing Seattle? What do they do best?
Yeah, after that game, you looked, honestly, you kind of walked away and said, this is a really good football team. Probably one of the best teams that we played, so it's not a surprise. I can't say enough about the work that Coach McDonald and John Schneider have done. Kind of reshaped the team there a little bit. They had a really good defense, and that game was kind of emblematic and a microcosm of our season. Didn't really start the game very well. Kind of turned the ball over, didn't convert a 4th and 1 there on the goal line, and we still had a shot at the end. So, but that's a really good football team. They've earned the opportunity. The teams that have played the best are the teams that are playing this weekend, and which is why New England and Seattle are playing.
Great
each other.
line. The teams that have played the best are the ones that are still playing. He is Nick the Clone, dude. You are the best. You always play the best, man. I appreciate you. I love you. You are the most accomplished clone ever. And what can I say, man? I just have to express my love and appreciation for you.
Love you, brother. Thanks
love
for
you
having
too,
me.
dude. Thank you so much, man. You're the absolute best. My man, NTC, dude. Head on a swivel. He's out there. You may have named him, but he's out there, and he's using you to get in here. Head on a swivel. Parody Larity. All right, that's Nick Caserio, NTC. Proud of that relationship. Thanks, Nick. Be good, brother.